Hello everyone and welcome to a new video in the Matplotlib tutorial series, and in this video we are going to discuss about how to create a histogram in Matplotlib, and let's begin. So what is actually a histogram? So let's go ahead and quickly create one histogram and then see what it is, right? So I've already imported the library into our code. The next thing that we want is the data. So the data is in the form of a list, and let's quickly plot it on a histogram and see what it is. As you can see, I have a collection of data in the form of a list, right? And this is information regarding heights of a group of men, okay? So we have 170 centimeters, 165, etc., etc. Okay, fine. Let's quickly plot this on a as a histogram, and in order to do that, we just have to type plt dot and access the hist method, hist, and as the first argument let's pass this particular data. So and run this cell and see, we get this thing as output. Okay, so as you can notice, the x-axis values represents this particular data, right, in the form of a particular range. So we have like values from 160 to 165, 165 to 170, 170 to 175, etc., right? And the y-axis values in a histogram or a bar chart like this actually represents the frequency of these values that are inside it. So we have like just one value repeating inside 162, what value this is, and we have like in between 170 to 172.5 maybe, and inside that we have two values repeating, and from this particular range we have like three values, and in this particular range we have like three values. Okay, so as you can see the range, so this particular thing as you can see here is called a bin or a bucket in histogram or bar charts, and as you can see the bars here are connected, right? There are no gap between them. So let's do one thing. Let's provide one more parameter inside this, which is our width, and let's say I want you to just occupy, maybe this has now occupied 100% of the space which it has got provided. So I just want you to occupy maybe like 98% of the space you can get. So yeah, so now we have separations between them, and separations between each entire range. Okay, and as you can see the ranges are from 160 to 162.5, as you can see here, 160 to 162.5. then we don't have any values between 162.5 to 165, so this is blank here. Then we have 165 to 167.5, etc., etc. Okay, cool. One other thing that we can do here is we can actually change the color of this particular thing. Okay, so if you want to change this color into something else, we can give the color parameter, and color equal to maybe green, and run the cell, and we get this particular histogram. And another thing that you can see is by default we have like the range is classified into 10 values, like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10, right? So you can change that by typing bins equal to, and if I just want to categorize into three categories, I can just give 3 or 4. Maybe I want 3 for now and just run it, and I have like three categories, like, and this is from 160 to 168.33 is the first category, and 168 to 176 is the next category, and 176 to 185 is the next category. Okay, so by default it divides it into equally into three parts, and if you want to specify the range you can do that as well, like by just providing a list, and I want like maybe 160 to 170, let it be the first range, then 170 to 180 be the next range, and then 180 to 190. I don't have more data, so just do that and we get exactly that. So 160 to 170 is the first range, 170 to 180 is the next range, 180 to 190 is the next range. Fine. Just for the ease of visualization, I'm just going to provide maybe like converting this into 6 ranges. So maybe 165, and then 170, then 175, then 180, then 185, and then 190. Run this and we have 6 classifications. And as you can see, most men are concentrated in this particular range, right? 175 to 180. Okay, fine. If I want to change the orientation into something else rather than being vertical, I can just make it horizontal as well. For example, just provide orientation equal to, and then quotes, just provide a horizontal. Okay, and run this and we get horizontal arrangement as well. Now let us add one more set of data into this. We have heights of men, right? Let's add heights of women as well into the same histogram, so that we can see it side by side, and we can add the next set of data, which is this height women, and we have this particular list here, right? I'm going to run the cell and I'm going to add this into the data argument inside the histogram method, and in order to visualize both of them in the same histogram, I'll have to keep the data in the form of a list, and let the first data be height of men, and comma the next set of data, let it be height women, and I'm just going to copy this particular thing and I'm going to paste it here, and I'm going to close the bracket here, and let's see what happens when we run the cell. Will we get some sort of error or so? And run this and we are getting an error, and as you can see, we have specified only one color, right? So both of these data should differentiate or distinguish from each other, so we'll have to provide two colors here. So inside the list we have green first for men, and then let's provide maybe red for women, and close the list and then run it again, and as you can see, we have same histogram with two sets of data for men and women, right? Perfect. But we are missing something, because we have specified the ranges from 160, right? When you check the data for women, we have values starting from 150 itself. So if we don't specify it here, and we'll just miss those values, so I'm going to provide 150 and ranges from 150 to 155 also here, then run it again and we have this particular thing. So from 150 to 155 we don't have any collection of data for men, so this is blank here, and between 150 to 155 we have like 3 entries for heights of women, and the frequency between this range 150 to 160 is 4, and frequency between 160 to 165 for women is 4 here also, but men is less, as you can see. Mostly women are concentrated, the frequency of women are more in these sets of height, right, like 150 to 165, and mostly men are mostly leading after that, like 165 to 180 and all. Okay, so this kind of gives that kind of particular idea, but now we are lagging something. We don't have details about the labels, we don't have X and Y labels, and we don't know what red and blue represents, right? And we need to give some sort of idea. So what we can do is we can add a parameter called label, and label equal to a list, and the first one is green, which is men, so men, and then the second one is red as women, so women, and let's close the bracket. Yeah, perfect. And run this, and I forgot to add one thing. We have to add the legend method in order to visualize it. So plt dot legend, and just run this again, and we have the legend mentioned here, green for men and red for women. Perfect. And now we just have to add X label and Y label, and for that we can do run this, and we get height and number of people on both the axes. So that is it for this video. We have learned enough about histograms in this. We will continue with more topics in the upcoming videos, and until then, bye bye.